Welcome back, my duelist friends. It is Tuesday, and this is going to be another deck profile. So today, on the Casual Duelist, we are giving up a list that was submitted to us for Dark Worlds, which is actually pretty awesome. I do have one suggestion to this duelist outright. When we get to it, I will show my suggestion. And if you guys have any advice for this duelist, just go ahead and throw that down in the comment section as respectfully as you can. I've seen you guys already giving great advice and being super respectful to the other duelists who've submitted recent decks. And honestly, guys, you are the best. So enough glaze. Let's get you guys a deck, right? So I believe this was a 40-card main, 15-card extra deck. The first thing that we have is we have a single copy Ceruli. And this guy's actually really awesome. So if discarded by a card effect, special summon from grave to opponent's side of the field in defense. Then when this is special summoned, the opponent of this card has to discard a card. So what's going to end up happening is we're going to transfer Ceruli to their side, so we get to discard, but it'll be by a card our opponent controls. So we get the extra effects. So again, Ceruli doing really good. Let's see if we can do something about the... Can we get some focus, like a morsel, please? Thank you. Another card that we're going to want to run that was released in one of the structure decks is Genta. We're going to get 3 copies of the Gateman. You can only special summon this guy once per turn. You can discard this card to the graveyard. Add 1 Gates of Dark World from the deck to the hand. If this card is banished and you control a Dark World card, special summon it. So again, it's pretty simple. He's going to fetch our field spell. He's going to do stuff. He's awesome. Next up, we're going to get 2 of the Dragon Boss. We're going to get 2 copies Grapha. Special summon it from the graveyard by bouncing one of your Dark World monsters back from field to hand. Which is, again, this is fair. We could do this with Ceruli. We could juggle him to get extra effects. If discarded by card effect, target a card the opponent controls, destroy it. Then if it was also an opponent's card effect, we can also look at a random card in their hand, and if it's a monster, we can special summon that as well. So it's cool. We get to take their resources, which is essentially like taking the card out of their hand. But we're going to mobilize it. This is great for Sync Link and some possible XYZs. Do we use? Yeah, we got a couple XYZs in here. So again, good stuff. We have a single copy of Lucent, the Nether Lord, of Dark World. If discarded by card effect, special summon. If by opponents, also special summon a fiend from our deck to either side of the field. Again, this will allow us to just immediately pop Ceruli and get that strategy moving. 3 copies of the newer Rainbow, the Over King of Dark World. You can special summon this from the graveyard by returning a level 7 or lower Dark World that you control from the field to the hand. If discarded to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add a level 5 or higher Dark World monster from deck to hand, except same name. Then, if it was discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Dark World from the deck or graveyard to either field. So again, there's so many ways we could play Ceruli, as well as just simply bolstering our own side of the field with this card. This is why we only run the 1 Ceruli. Getting into the last few cards we're going to be playing, we've got 2 copies Silva. And I do love Silva. I'm not going to choose the one with the harder text. We're going to use the one that's a little fresher of a print run, since it's going to give us the problem solving. If discarded normal, special summon. If discarded opponent effect, also return 2 cards from hand to bottom of the deck. Now, it does have to be exactly 2 cards. So if they only have 1 card, this effect does fail to resolve. But again, it's good. I like Silva. There might be a way to cut him down to 1, but I get it. There's probably a reason that you have him in here as 2. And then the last one that you have for your Dark Worlds is Snow the Unlight. And again, this card is self-explanatory. When discarded, if discarded by opponent card effect, target a monster in the opponent's graveyard, and then add Dark World card from deck to hand, then special summon the target if there were any. So again, it's not bad. It's good stuff. Moving into the next bit, it seems like you had a little danger package, and it's a little more than a little one. I'm not going to go over every danger's effect, because if we do that, we could be here for quite a minute. Suffice it to say, there was one Bigfoot, one Chupacabra, one Jackalope, two Mothman, and three Nessies. Now, I get this. This is some good stuff. It lets you go for like rank 7 plays here. There's extra 4s for other stuff. This is not terrible. Something else that you were playing, 2 copies of Fabled Raven. Again, this guy is super cool. Being that he is, and I'm going to move this just ever so slightly down so we could try to fit the whole deck into one shot. The Fabled Raven's really cool because the effect forces the discards of the Dark World cards. And while it does that, this card modulates its level. This card can become a tuner that is very unique to this deck. And it also allows you to play a little bit of the newer, what are they called again? I'm looking through my extra deck, Fiendsmiths. Since they do require a light fiend as part of their recipe. So that's cool. I saw 3 Kokumeru Guardians on your list. Now, at first, I looked at this and I was like, is he playing Dark Fusion or Dark Calling or something? Is there like a quick test punch for a Dark Gaia? And then I thought about it and I realized that what you're doing is you're trying to go off against the monster effects. So the way this thing works is during each end phase, destroy this unless you send an Iron Core or reveal a rock monster in your hands, which again, Kokumeru Guardian was your only rock monster, and you didn't play the Iron Core. Respectable. When a monster effect is activated, however, as a quick effect, you may tribute this card, negate the activation, and destroy the card. So I assume that you were doing this to go off against hand traps. You'll start your normal summon off with the Guardian, and then you go into linking and looping the rest of your plays through effects, especially since the dangers can get a lot of stuff started for you. Which again is perfect. I respect this. This is really cool. And then the last tech card you had in here for monsters was a Salamander Catalyzer. Again, great card here. Reveal this and 1 fiend in your hand. Again, most of your deck. Special summon one of them and discard the other. Well, that means we can pretty much special summon this while discarding the other, which in fact gets the effects. When a monster is destroyed by battle involving a fiend monster that you control, while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this back to your hand. You can only use that effect once per turn. So again, if you're going to juggle it, make it only 1 copy in the deck, since it's very easy to go and get. Yeah. All right. Now, going into the spells, because there were no traps, I did notice that this seemed to be more of a monster-heavy deck. And again, I get it. A lot of the interactions with the dangers sort of help dig through the deck. Makes perfect sense. The first card that you were using were 3 copies of the Dark Corridor spell. So this just tutors up a Dark World. Add 1 Dark World monster from deck to hand, then discard a card. You can only activate 1 per turn. It's good, gets out the effect, gets you anybody that you need. Again, it allows you to play, like, and this is where I was like, maybe you want to play 1 Silva and get another name in this deck. And whichever card it is that you want to play, you can just go ahead and do that. Everything's searchable. You had 2 copies of the Dark World Accession, which has always been a problem for me to try to say. The way this works, quick play, during the main phase, fusion summon 1 fiend fusion monster from the extra deck by banishing materials mentioned on it from the field or grave. If fusion summoning a Dark World monster this way, you can also discard monsters as material. And again, discarding them as material means that you'll get the effect of being able to summon, while also discarding them. I think it's a card effect, so correct me if I'm wrong on that. Should give you a bigger boost. Then if this card was in your graveyard, you could add this card to the hand during the main phase, then discard a Dark World monster. So again, that's going to activate and get a summon out. And each of these effects is once per turn. So again, you kind of juggle this card too. And it's not terrible. Plus, it's quick play, so we can do it during an opponent's main phase, which is good. We are going to be playing 1 copy of Archives. During the main phase, this continuous spell says you can discard 1 Dark World monster, and if you do, Dark World monsters you currently control gain attack equal to the level of the discarded card times 100. until the end of the turn. So again, it's a quick discard. We're going to get a quick summon or a search off, depending on like which card it is, like Snow. If a monster whose original type is Fiend is discarded from the hand by the effect of a Dark World card or an opponent's card effect, even during the damage step, you can discard a card to then draw 2 cards. You can use each effect once per turn, so again, really good card. Single copy of Lightning Storm. Not sure, maybe this is just, you only had one. Just fine. 2 Gates of Dark World. This is our field spell. All Fiend monsters gain 300 attack and defense. Once per turn, banish a Fiend from your discard pile. Discard 1 Fiend and draw a card. So again, it helps us resolve effects. I don't know if you guys remember how Genta's working. He's going to be able to come back as well. And then 2 copies of Talent. Talent just really helps wrap this up, gives you your your draw 2s. Plus, since it's modular, you can do some of the other stuff, take control of an opponent's monster until the end of the turn, or look at the opponent's hand and choose 1 card from it and shuffle it back. Again, it's not bad. So, sorry I kind of had to scritch everything together here. That is the main deck. There should be 40 cards. Go ahead, guys, take that screen cap or pause and make some notes real quick. And we'll be back with this extra deck in just a moment. All right, we're back with the extra deck. So, extra deck, pretty basic. We're going to run 2 copies of Effusion, 2 copies Grapha, the Dragon Overlord of Dark World, great card, Grapha plus any dark. When your opponent activates a monster effect or a normal spell trap while you have cards in your hand as a quick effect, you may activate this effect. The activated effect of that card becomes your opponent discards a card. You can use this effect once per turn. And then if this was fusion summoned in its owner, or this fusion summoned card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, we can choose to special summon 1 Grapha that is banished or in the graveyard. Then each player with a hand has to discard a card. So again, really good, big boss, and it fits the theme just right. There we go. Let's get that focus back. Next up, you had 1 Synchro. I saw that you were playing Bryonic, sorry. And Bryonic is not a bad card. Okay, I know Bryonic's effect is one of those ones that was ruled that when you're sending these cards, discarding these cards, that it will trigger Dark World stuff. But I did notice that you had a Fabled Tuner in the deck. So I'm almost wondering if you should be playing Fabled and Wraith on the same level. They're both 6s. This is a once per turn selective bounce. This is Fabled Tuner and non-tuners. Again, you could make it the same. It's the same 6 stars. If this is special summon, the opponent can discard 1 card to negate the following effect. So we immediately start with, do you want to sacrifice your hand a little bit, or do you want to let me resolve stuff? Otherwise, you get the effect to draw 2 cards, then discard a card, which again could allow you to trigger off another effect. If a monster's descent from the opponent's hand to the graveyard, except during a damage step, target 1, special summon it to your side of the field with its effects negated. Each effect is once per turn. Either way you go here, I think it's good. I think Fabled Wraith is just as cheap as putting Bryonic in this deck. Let everybody in the comments section vote on that. Which card do you guys think is going to help this duelist more? And then the rest of this is actually pretty good. We have an Abyss Dweller, which is still a card in 2024. Still does things. Divine Arsenal Zeus, again, still good. Exiton Knight, I get it. What happens if you're coming from behind type deal. And Dugaris number 60. I've been using this card a lot more myself lately, just because the modular, it's modular in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better than modular effects in Magic. And this guy's got the ability to either let me draw cards, draw 2, drop 1, or somebody doubles over their attack, or, it's all good. And then I do place, there was some Link Salad in here. So we have an Access Code Talker, a Kaushik, which I think is a really good pick. The Fiendsmith Sequence, again, great in this build. The IP Masquerena, which is fun. The Unicorn, which is always good. Moon of the Closed Heaven, which again helps us with our final card, which is not the next one. Saryuja Skull Dread, which is going to do a lot of stuff again. We have multiple effects. And then, like I said, Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, helped out a little bit by Moon of the Closed Heaven. Again, these sort of piggyback off each other. They let us take a chunk out of the opponent's side of the field as far as link plays go. IP lets us set up for some tactical plays. Saryuja really lets us get multiple effects as long as we're using multiple different names to put it together. Access code is there because it's access code. It's good. I agree with like 95% of this deck. I think you did a good job, guy. Honestly. But we will see what the comments have to say about any potential upgrades. I do think that the Andraith over Bryanak is going to be a better play. I think there's a second Dark World Fusion. I just don't own one, so I wasn't able to really look into it to figure that out for you. But if there was, I'd probably go ahead and run them 1-1. But 2 Grapha's never a bad idea. Solid stuff. I hope everybody else enjoyed this today. If you have, consider supporting the channel with a like, comment, sub. If you guys have decks that you guys want to have shown off, as long as I have the cards, go ahead and submit it through the email. It's casualduelist78@gmail. You can find that in my my links, the bio, whatever. And yeah, just guys, go out, have a wonderful day. We got a couple more days before Halloween. Tomorrow is going to be a repeat deck, kind of like a flashback to a previous deck that's really fun. And I think I'm going to give it away to a trick-or-treater this year. I think that's the thing. We're going to see if anybody comes around who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm going to sit out there with my dual disc, whatever. And then we're going to give the deck away. So we're just going to show it off real quick, and then it'll be out. So yeah. You guys have a lovely day. I hope to see you guys again on the next one, which will be tomorrow. So till then, later.